And welcome to another Outsider review. My name is Pat, and I'm the Outsider. And this is the 2025 Lincoln Nautilus. And boy, do we have a great review for you today. I've had this vehicle all week, and I gotta say, it's the vehicle that once I got in has wowed me the most. And we'll get through that, as well as there's one thing that I absolutely despise about this vehicle. So I'm going to share you everything in this review, inside and out. Please like, subscribe, support the channel so we can do some more reviews like this. And without further ado, in this very cold liquid sunshine that we called snow, let's get right into this review. So the one I have today is the gas model, but the thing I love most about the Lincoln Nautilus is that it is one of few luxury SUVs that you can have in both hybrid and gas. Now, I'm going to give you all the specs for both. This is the gas model, however. So it comes with a 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder engine, 250 horsepower, 280 pounds-feet of torque. With the hybrid, it's still a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine, 310 horsepower, and 295 pounds-feet of torque due to that electronic assist. Now, the gas model is powered through an 8-speed transmission, and the hybrid through a CVT. Don't ask me why. Fuel economy can be expected for 24 miles per gallon combined, or 9.8 liters per 100 kilometers combined for the gas model. Hybrid, you'll see that to 30 miles per gallon, or 7.7 liters per 100 kilometers. 0 to 60 time is 7.3 seconds in the gas model, and the hybrid is 6.8 seconds. So obviously hybrid, more torque, more get up and go off the line. Towing capability is 1,750 pounds, which actually surprised me. I was expecting a little bit more coming from this SUV. So I told you it wowed me. I was not actually talking about the exterior, so you're going to get that a little bit more when you get interior. And boy, is it luxurious, and boy, is it wow. But is it wow in a good way or a bad way? That's going to be for you to decide. I'll show you all the pictures, all the videos about it, and you be the judge at the end of it. I have my own personal opinion, which I will disclose in this because, well, I'm an outsider. I know I'm not muzzled or anything. But let's get right into the exterior. So I already talked about the performance aspect of this. And now let's take a look. I like the light bar and the lit up Lincoln logo. It looks pretty sharp. I gotta say, I like the look. And it's got some very good color choices for this vehicle. As I show you all the different color choices that you guys can have. And the choices doesn't just stop there. Now, obviously, I'm rocking winter tires, but the size doesn't change. It's 22-inch tires. Look at that in perspective of the vehicle. These are massive, but you can go from 19-inch tires to 20 to 21s to the gigantuous 22s. So we'll see how that affects ride comfort as we get on. One thing that's also very cool about this vehicle that personally I don't like to when manufacturers mess up with a good thing like a simple door handle, but this one I actually like. There's a little bit of a rubber sensor right here in the back, so it kind of flows really nice just at the top here, and it's just it have that nice sturdy feel to it. I got just a piece of rubber that I hit. You also have the combinations, which I do not have, but it's cool that you can use combinations still. I thought that technology was gone, but Lincoln's still using it. So it's pretty cool. Same door handle. So I don't know. Maybe that helps with the arrow, considering it's in line with the mirror. But I find it kind of cool. And I have had no problem opening this up because how sturdy this is. This piece is just completely attached here, and it just feels really sturdy. So that's the one thing I'm always worried about in the winter when everything is frozen and you have like a little flimsy door handle. You're like, I'm scared of pulling too hard and ripping that SOB off, and this one is not a concern. So yeah, I've already talked about fuel economy. So this being the gas model, 9.8 liters per 100 kilometers, what I can expect, or 24 miles per gallon. Now, let's take a look at the back and see how much cargo room before we go inside the cargo space. I do like, sorry about the snow, guys. I can't really help it too much. I'll try to clean it up, but it's got a light bar in the back. Everything's LED as far as lighting. Everything is LED. We got a nice 360 camera, and we got some tucked in exhaust. Not an EV. It is pumping fuel. using that old fossil. And we got a nice brake light here, and underneath, there you go, is the wiper. So the wiper is tucked in. And now let's go check out the cargo space. Cargo space inside for the gas. Now, the gas and the hybrid are different because there's a battery involved, right? Cargo is with the seats up 36.4 cubic feet, with the seats down 71.3 cubic feet. That's very good. And for the hybrid, 35.2 cubic feet or 68.8 cubic feet of space. All right, let's get out of snow here a little bit. In the back, comfortable. I am gonna say this a lot about this vehicle because it is comfortable and it's so premium. I love it. 43.1 inches of legroom right off the bat. Ample knee room. My feet do fit underneath the seat a little bit, and I do like that my sitting position is a little bit higher up, elevated. It feels like you're in a truck, right? It's an SUV, but door material. So I do have some ambience lighting over here. Metallic speakers. Definitely feels premium to it. It's the Rebel speakers. It's nice. Door handle. Pretty cool. It's a little bit funky on the funky side here. It's pulled like this. I like it. Everything, all the material feels really good. I do have right here two USB connection per side. So on both sides here, I got heated outboard seats. I do not have tri-zone ventilation, so I don't have any. I have my own ventilation. I just don't have the choice to pick my own ventilation, and I would argue that that's okay. But in a luxury vehicle, perhaps you would want that or expect that. So comment below what your thoughts are on those. Overall, I can recline this seat a little bit more too as well. There you go. So that's like a nap time kind of setting. This is like business time kind of setting. I like it. Is there another one? Yeah, so there I got two settings. This one and this one feels really good. Now, here's something that's kind of weird. Well, I thought it was kind of weird. So right here, you look, and I was like, no cup holders, but you do have cup holders. You just press a little button, and you got some pop-up cup holders here. And I'm going to take my Timmy's cup. Just do a little Timmy's cup test. It does fit. Yeah, it's good. It's solid. I'm good. I'm happy with that. So then you tuck that in, and I was like, what is this? So this is a nice felted cargo area, and kind of like gives me a vibe like, what am I taking off jewelry or something? It's nice. It's nice and felted here. It's pretty cool. It's not deep, but it is a cargo space area, so they maximize it. I can't shock them with that. So I do have heated outboard seat. Like I said, I got my own ventilation and kangaroo pouches galore that open up pretty wide. Plenty of headroom. I'm only 5'9", but I got plenty of headroom, and I am pretty wide as an individual. I do like how the seats kind of wrap around you. They got some bolstering on the sides. Like I said when I came in, comfort. This is all about comfort, and it keeps going to the front. Let's go there. Okay, now here I am in the cockpit of the Nautilus, and this is what I was talking about, where I got into this vehicle and I was like, whoa, look at this. It's a 48-inch panoramic screen. I actually thought it was bigger than that. I was like 60-inch screen or something like that. But you know, my measurements are almost not always up to date so anyways, what do you guys think? What do you guys think about that? I'll tell you what I think. First of all, I was like, wow, way to make a statement. So if you're looking at competition here in North America, you want a luxury hybrid vehicle, and you are looking at the interior, and you're like, maybe I want hybrids. So you're looking at hybrids. What's your options here? Really, for this size and segment, I'd say the Lexus RX and the Lincoln Nautilus are basically your two choices. But when you look at the interior, this one says premium. This one says wow. This one says luxury. And I'm gonna break it all down for you, okay? So essentially from here to here, that's your driver information cluster, and from there to there is just extras. That's basically it. You can definitely turn that off. You have calm mode, and you have all these different modes. So let's get right into that. Let's get right into the screen. So when I go over here in my settings, one, I can change the orientation. So you can see, like, I can have my music, my fuel economy. I can change it to my trip, the weather, and just have all that information out there. So if I'm gonna grab the weather here, throw it in there, but I don't want the weather there. I want my trip information. I can switch it. I can switch the clock. I can switch every single aspect of this, which is great. And from there, you definitely have different theme selections. So I can select different theme: constellation, tranquil, engage, and then it changes basically the look of everything. So tranquil, you can see it's just a simple one, a little bit less of everything. And I like constellation. I think it looks pretty cool. So that's just it. And you can turn off that part of it as well. I like to have it on. If you're wondering if it's too distractive, I'll talk about that in the drivability. I thought at first it was a little bit too much, and having it for a week, I'm okay with it now, and I've gotten used to it, and I know where everything is, and it's not that big of an issue. This screen, or I mean this vehicle, has an 11-inch screen here. So this is basically your remote control kind of thing, because this is not touchscreen at all. So this controls that. The 11-inch controls the 48-inch. And so I got heated, I got ventilated seats that I can control through here. And basically I have wireless Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. But I also have Google built in. So if I go through some apps, I have some Google built-in apps like a car fireplace. And you'll actually hear the, if I crank up the noise a little bit, a fireplace. So yeah, you want to take a nap in your car or something? I've had it. But I thought that was kind of cool that you can download all these kind of different apps, which is really cool. But essentially you can have directly to Waze, or you can use your, Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. So HVAC controls. Now here is where I'm not too keen on this. You got a electronic vent control as far as direction, right? So you do have automatic HVAC controls like every other car, but here if I want to change the direction of it, I just tap on the screen and I can direct if I want it in my face, in my feet, or whatever I have. I'm not too, that one I could do without, but it is kind of cool. I also have, right below that, I got my piano key shifter, which is not something I'm a big fan of. I like an electronic column shifter personally, but I do like this choice of buttonry. So you have your defrost match, your camera angles and stuff. So I kind of got thrown off a little bit the first time I threw it in reverse, and I was kind of looking down there, and it's up there. So it's not too big of a difference. The mirrors here, that's there. You get used to these things. Hazard lights and parking assist and volume. This is basically a volume wheel. It's nice little, it's got a crystal look to it. Pretty cool. Wireless charger, perfect location. I like it. Cup holders fit big gulps. I have USB-A and USB-C and a little bit of storage, and I can just hide it all if I want to, like this, and make it look pretty snazzy. Premium. That's the vibe I'm getting through this. And now we're gonna get to the steering wheel. Now if we get to the steering wheel, here's the thing, right? I was looking at this, I'm like, wait, what do all these buttons mean? There's nothing written on there. So basically just hover your thumb over it, and you can see on the screen there, it pops up. So volume up, volume down, skips, and I can get my voice activation if I want to ask Google, because you got a Google built-in system here, which is pretty cool, right? So I can just ask Google, hey, what's the weather today?
Today in St. Catherine de la Jacques Cartier, there will be snow showers with a forecasted high of -9 and a low of -17.
No, that's actually
right
pretty
now
warm.
It's -10 degrees with snow showers.
And it does have Blue Cruise, so hands-free driving in these kind of conditions. I haven't really tested it so much. I tested it on the highway, but again, it was snowy condition in the winter, so it was coming off quite often. And it was a little bit of an annoyance that way, but that's just part of winter life. Most people do not put on cruise control in the winter just because of slipping hazards and such. But it's free for 4 years with the Lincoln Nautilus, so you definitely gotta love that. And ambience lighting is kind of cool. I like how it's kind of goes from the screen to like right here. I got the blue lights. I have the blue, and then you have the metallic speaker just like in the back, as well as the Revel sound system. And when you open your door, you can see this light turns red. So it's kind of tells you can see it on the screen, but you can also see it in the door, which door is open. Pretty funky features all around. I got a nice panoramic sunroof. I've already talked about how comfortable the seats were back there, and this is the surprising thing, because last year I reviewed the Lincoln Corsair, and if you watch that review, you can see I hammered it about seat comfort. That 20-way adjustability was garbage. Did not like it. Way too firm. This is not the case for the Nautilus. I found the Nautilus to be very comfortable. It's got still some adjustments, but not as intense as the Corsair. Well, that's what I find. It's got some massage function, which I think is still gimmicky, so I'm not too thrilled about it. But it is there. So you do have those nice creature comforts. All in all, like I said, everything's premium, everything's high tech, and it's very comfortable. Let's go take it a drive, and I'll give you some feedback on that. Time to go for a drive. Now, gas model, just a 4-cylinder engine, 250 horsepower, 280 pounds-feet of torque, 0 to 60 in about 7 point something seconds. Not too bad. We're not gonna beat that score today or get that acceleration today just because of the slippery conditions. So let's go right into the drive modes right away. If I got my drive mode button right here, and then I can just slide on the screen. So I got normal, conserve, excite, you know, sport mode, slippery, like we have today, deep condition, like we're talking about deep snow kind of condition. This is not deep snow, so I am gonna go and choose slippery, which I'm on right now. So I got slippery drive mode. I got my piano key shifter. I'm gonna put it in drive, and let's go. We start slipping right away, so too much gas. And we'll go to that stop sign, and right away we're gonna get into my con that I talked about at the beginning of the show. It's a big one, and that has to do with the brakes. Now the brakes, which I've actually heard fellow YouTubers and such like Motormouth say that they had a big issue with the brakes, and I was like, okay, sometimes I watch other reviews, but I still want to make up my own mind. And here's what I've from day one, from the minute I got into it, I was like, what is going on with the calibration of these brakes? And the thing that I've been paying particular attention to them, and where it stems from, is a lot of slack at the beginning of the brake pedal. You know, when I was a shooting instructor, it's like, you know, shoot, slack out, you take the slack out, so you take your second shot. So there's a lot of slack to take out of it. I'm pressing. Now I start slowing down. So I have a lot of slack in my brake pedal, and sometimes what you'll get at the beginning when I start driving this vehicle is I start pressing the brake pedal, nothing's happening, so I start pressing a little bit more aggressively, and next thing you know, you're locking up. So it's a learning curve for these brakes, and Motormouth was driving the hybrid, so maybe they thought it was just a hybrid thing, calibration, but it's not. This is the gas model, and it still has a lot of slack to be taken out before any kind of effect on the brakes. So I press, so you just have to start pressing earlier, at an earlier time, before you, so increase your stopping distance, is what I'm gonna tell you, okay? Usually you're like 3 seconds behind a vehicle, maybe add another extra second just to gauge with these kind of brakes, because they are particularly finicky. Sometimes it feels like you go from nothing to immediate stopping in winter conditions like this. No bueno. So that is, I spent a lot of time just talking about the brakes, but that is the biggest con. The piano key shifter, it is what it is. It's not too bad, but it's not the best shifter in the world. Now onto the steering wheel, as I'm gonna make a left-hand turn. I like it. It gives it kind of like, I feel like I'm driving a very sporty vehicle. It's, you know, that this flat steering wheel kind of style, and I find that this coincides very well with my driving style. So, and it's very, very light steering. Like, you can make adjustments quite easily by just a little bit slightly moving and you're turning. So yeah, I like the steering wheel. I like the shape of it. I like the feel of it. It just, yeah, it just works for me. But definitely take it for a drive if you're not sure about it and test it yourself. Now we're going to talk about another feature that this car has that I forgot to talk when I was talking about the interior of it, is digital scent. So you do have something called digital scent in this vehicle. If I go tap the little vehicle icon there, you have ambient lighting, your drive modes. You can actually go through the screen. I love that you have a physical button for it. That works very well. And then you have digital scent, and you might be saying, what the heck is that? Well, underneath this center console, I have scent cartridges. You have different kind of scents that you can go through instead of having air freshener, so that's kind of cool. And you can just get the just replace the cartridges as you wish right here in this center console. But other than that, so you have such a peaceful interior, even with this massive 48-inch panoramic screen. It's quite peaceful, and I do like the position of it because I don't have to drop my eyes that much to verify my speed and get my information. Where I do not like it is that I do have to look a little bit further away than I would. So usually a digital gauge cluster, you'll say that it's about, yeah, like this big nowadays. So your eyes have to travel a little bit, and the information is a little bit more smaller, right? So you're gonna have your music, you're gonna have your tripodometer, but it's all gonna be over here. So your eyes do need to travel. Now for that, you know, I'm not too sure about, but you could essentially just turn that bit off and not worry about it, because this is not information that you need, right? The weather, so you stop at a red light, you're like, how's my fuel economy going? So 10.1 liters, so that's a bit of an exaggeration because I left it on idle for a long time while it was snowing just to get the good shots. I was getting 9.5 liters per 100 kilometers. However, I drove mainly on the highway, so the 9.8 liters combined, that computes to me like I think that would be approximately what you would get. So I'm on par with what the EPA is saying. But what do you guys think as we're driving here and you're looking and you got a big screen and everything? Do you find it distracting? I no longer find it distracting. I gotta get used to reversing and watching there as opposed to there for my information. But overall, yeah, pretty good. Now here's what I didn't expect is, because we got some massive 22-inch tires on there, especially in the wintertime, that would not be my choice. So I do feel the bumps a little bit more, but otherwise this is actually a fairly smooth, comfortable ride. I'm driving on a pretty bumpy road right now, and I can tell you that, you know what, it's pretty good. It absorbs very well. The suspension does the trick. It's pretty comfortable, and when I'm driving it more in an excite fashion, it doesn't have a lot of body roll. So kudos to them for really calibrating that suspension. No vibration and noise and harshness. I already covered the harshness as far as the suspension side, but if you change those tires out, you'll be good. Noise, very quiet. This is a very quiet ride. So I was bang on when I was telling you at the beginning, this is all about a premium feel all around, including the drive. The drive, very quiet. It's very serene in here with the big screen doing everything it can. And obviously you have the seat adjustments on both the passenger and the driver, so you can get a nice comfy position and just enjoy the ride. Lastly, I am going to point out a couple omissions that I thought a vehicle of this prestige would or should have. One is I don't have a camera mirror here, so I can't just flick a switch and this becomes a camera. So it's just a auto dimming mirror. And two is when I'm reversing and I activate the rear windshield wiper washer, sorry, when I activate the rear windshield wiper washer, it doesn't wash out the rear camera, which I thought that was odd, and definitely in the winter conditions like this, because after just driving this a little bit right here, I can tell you that camera is going to be pretty much useless. So okay, so as I'm taking this curve right here, I'm gonna sum it up. There you go, accelerate out of the curve. It sounds nice. I love the sound of this engine, even though it's just a 2-liter. It does the trick. It's got ample amount of power. So that's gonna bring me right into my conclusion. Driving this vehicle is very, very nice. Ample amount of power. Merging on highways, no issues there. Good, stable drive, right? You got a nice shock absorption, but it's not overly on the comfort side where you got a lot of body roll. So if you want to be a little bit more engaging, all the power to you. And those 22-inch wheels, well, you know, they do affect the ride quality a little bit, but they tune the suspension well enough to make it a good ride. So that is my biggest pro. Second one is the wow factor. If you're buying a luxury vehicle, perhaps you're buying it because you want some of that wow factor. You want people to get in the vehicle and right away just have a pause of 2-3 and be like, wow. You know, you want that effect. I'm sorry if some people just buy vehicles because that's part of the gig. They want somebody to get in and be impressed, and this will definitely do it with that 48-inch panoramic screen. And it's not too distracted to drive with. That's what I found in my week of having this vehicle. Now to my cons. The piano key shifter, you can do better than that, Lincoln. Thank you very much. I'd like that to be something else. And the one I talked about at the beginning of this driving is the brakes. Awful. You've got to tune that better. You got to pick up that slack, literally, and you know, more in tune with these brakes. Too much slack at the beginning, and then it kicks in way too much once you start, when you take the slack out. So there's got to be a happy medium there. So as always, my name is Patrick. I hope you enjoyed this review. Comment below, support the channel, subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one.